Hey guys, today we are going to be looking at the Transformers, I want to say Deluxe class, Energon Rodimus. And here he is. I really don't know what to say. He's a racing a semi-truck. I don't know, because he's got these big wheels up front, he's got these small wheels in the back, he's got this spoiler, he's got obviously the signature Rodimus or Hot Rod Flames. Obviously smokestacks because he's a semi truck, but I really have no clue what in the world he turns into. Whoa. Or I know what he turns into, obviously, but how to describe what he turns into? Just it's so weird. And that's something that I love about this toy is that it's so random. Just what he is, and overall, it's really clean. Unless you know that these are his arms, then you don't know that they're his arms. If you don't know that these are his legs, then they don't look like his legs. You can see the hips right there, but and so yeah, and his head's down there. But really, it's really clean. I really like the fact that for such a basic toy, that he's actually not super kibbly. And I hate to say it, but this is one of my more addictive toys. Not my favorite, but when I first got him, I couldn't hardly put him down. I got him basically sealed, basically, because the box was in awful condition. That's why he came out. So yeah, but he is very addictive, to me at least. Is his transformation is complex enough to keep me entertained, but it's simple enough to make me want to flick it back and forth. So I don't think he had his Energon star because the box was just completely mangled, but that's where it'd go. I think it'd go there, right there. Little minicom port, Autobot symbol, just basic stuff. This is his gun. This port, you might be able to see it, goes over the minicom peg. Obviously, this is the handle, and it's just a piece of transparent plastic. And missile, transparent plastic. I think you can, no. There's a specific way you put it in. You can't just jam it in. So yeah, that's really all I have to talk about. Just what you see of this thing is what you get. So yeah. Getting to my favorite part is the transformation. His gun, I've already taken it off. Just going to leave it over here off the side. So let's transform him. So split that, or supposed to peg in from his hands. Supposed to peg in, but doesn't really. And I just accidentally did that. So you're going to split that. And now you split all this. Split that. Split this. And you can see his head right there. So just split it, and now these panels, you get a fold like so. I like to split this right now. Then you need to flip these up. I think they click one more time. Nope. Don't want to break it, but that's so yeah. Flip those up, flip that up, and just bring them around like so. Straighten them out like that. Bring the heels out, these big orange pieces. I'm going to raise the camera just a touch. Straighten his legs out like that. You can flip this down to form the bottom part of his torso. You can bring all of this forward like that. Bring the arm down, spin it around, spin this around, the spoiler, open this up. What? Open that up. You can bring the hand out, close it up. Same thing on this side. Bring it around, swivel that around, bring that down, swivel the hand out, bring it down, swivel that around. And then you can just bring the head down on that double hinge. And it kind of pegs in on that little, you might be able to see it behind my finger, right there. And that just, you can hear it click in a little bit, but really doesn't, I don't know. So yeah, there you go. Take his gun, put it in his hand, and there. Yeah, it's not really complex, but there's a certain, they cared about it. This design, the design is very, very weird. I'm not saying that I like Rodimus in Energon. I don't hardly like anything in the Energon show, as I've probably said. What is going on? They're not really even. As I've said in the show ranking, and I'm not saying that I like the design, but I really like the toy. The design, give or take, I don't really care. I like the truck, just because it's so stupid. The robot, just how big his legs are, they're decently posable if you flip this up. It's universal. I'm going to spin his arm up. They're universal, basically, universal ratchets. I don't think you get a thigh swivel, but it's universal. You get that transformation joint. You could fake it even more with that joint. Just, that doesn't count. You could use that, the heel, but he has a decent amount of articulation, but because of his arms, which can do a full 360 due to ball jointed arm, that ball joint right in there, get a butterfly, get it swaying in due to transformation, swivel, it's ball joint. It's just awkward because his arms aren't out enough, his legs are too wide, it's like they took his arms and were like, we have to make them within these spots. I know it helps the transformation and it helps the vehicle mode, but it makes a very awkward robot. So, you can't do, as obviously it's a Unicron Trilogy toy. He's not going to have the most amount of articulation, but it's even harder because of his weird space issues when it comes to what he does, when it comes to, his limbs. So I don't find myself, he hasn't really gotten off the shelf since now for a while. He's been on the shelf for about a year, I think a year. And for the first week that I had him, I couldn't keep him down. I just had to pick him up, transformer again. Pick him up, transformer again. And I like that. But the posing, he has decent articulation, better than a lot of guys in his toy line. I don't own very many, but Ironhide doesn't have the better articulation than him. But it's the weird and different proportions and the way they decide to put his limbs that hinders the way that he can pose and do things like that. And, Unicron Trilogy toys, or even toys of this era, were not designed to be posed. The gimmick was literally the power links, and I don't have anything to show it, and I don't know I can't remember how to transform him into the power links mode, but, or the missile. The gimmick was not the articulation, I understand that. But toys of this era, and he has articulation, but due to his proportions, with his legs and his arms, and the way his arms are spaced and all that, hinders all those things, and stops him from utilizing the articulation that is engineered within him, just, because. But of course, that doesn't really matter. I'm not gonna go put this guy in a pose, just the transformation is the highlight for me, and that's why I like the toy, is that this past couple of years I haven't found a toy that I can't put down. And this toy was that. a little while. I just couldn't put him down. I just had to transform him. And just so simply, so simple, so easy, and it has, there's a bit more, it's deeper than just like some other toys of his time. He has a deep transformation, not a deep transformation, but a simpler, more complex transformation, but it still has this dumb, simple kid style transformation that's fun, and I can flip back and forth, but because it has that little complexity, I keeps me wanting to do it again and again and again and again and again. That's why I like him, is that they nailed his transformation so beautifully that's why I like him. And, his design isn't awful. It's not the worst redesign. Prime is pretty close for that one. Optimus Prime is pretty close for the worst redesign of Energon, but whatever. It's not a bad redesign. It's not a bad vehicle mode. I don't like his character, but his toy isn't bad. I don't like the way he looks. I don't hate the way he looks. Just he's not my cup of tea. I just like him to be there. Got him for like $15 at a flea market, I think. But just I love the toy. I love the toy based on his transformation. He is the epitome of what a Transformer should be, because his transformation, like I said, it makes me think, like, how should I do that? Makes me think. Like, when I pulled him back off the shelf, I was like, okay, I can't remember how to transform him. But once I transformed him, it felt like an instinct for me to transform him like that. Didn't feel like, oh, this is, I'm going to get this instantly. Haven't pulled this guy down in a year, I'm going to get it. But it also wasn't like, haven't pulled this guy down in a year, I gotta pull the instructions out, or I gotta look up a video, or I gotta spend 30 minutes at it. It wasn't like that. It was like, like 30 seconds of me looking at him. Okay, how do you transform him again? I can't remember. Looking at it and deciphering what to do, but it was still simple enough that it popped right back into my head, and then I could remember how to transform him. And that is the perfect simplicity. This isn't, he's a basic toy. He's not that deep of a toy. If you see it, you're gonna get it. Except for the transformation. That's why I'm focusing so heavily on the transformation. Is that there's a reason why I love this era of Transformers. The Unicron trilogy, they just nailed it so good. Energon and a couple of the early Armada toys, some of the Armada toys were a little poorer than the Cybertron toys in this toy, but specifically him, I haven't ran really into a toy like him that just nailed their transformation that good. Just he doesn't really have anything else to talk about. And he would be a perfect lesson for the Hasbro team to learn, is look back at this guy and be like, why, in my personal opinion, why is the magic there? How does he, where's the magic of his transformation? Why do I want to keep transforming him, and he sits on the side of the desk? If he was on my desk, he's not. He's on the shelf. But why does he keep going back to that? I don't know. Just, they did a very, very good job at doing this toy. And I don't think he's worth that much. Like, you can get on eBay, and I guarantee other secondary markets, and I bet you could find him pretty easy. Don't know how expensive he is on those markets, but I bet you could probably find him pretty easy. And then, same thing for his Japanese counterpart, if there's any difference. So yeah, this is more of a talk about transformation than the actual toy, but that's why I like him. That's why I like toy. That's why I love the toy. That's why. I know, just a little. It's really all I got. So, yeah. that's really all I got. So, till next time, see ya.